the coach. Welcome to the show. The chef is Cyborg, save the sports radio. Football addicts, since they learn how to walk. Been giving 2 cents since they learn how to talk. Yo, it's me, Gray Cloud, know the voice of New York. The highs, the lows, the wins, the bosses. You ain't a damn loser if you took some losses. Put the gloves on, let's see who's the softest.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? I have one of the baddest in the game, Jessica Borga, A.K.A. the Black Widow. How are you this morning?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for having me.
Nah, it's a pleasure. Like, I literally had to ask about the book because I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest book kind of person, but anytime anybody has a book out, I'm like, I gotta ask them because I
this
think
one is
having a
definitely
book
better
is
than
incredible.
other. It definitely has some funny and some me. It's honestly it's authentically me. So it's gonna be funny. I'm also gonna probably do an audio. So just for people who don't want to read it.
That would be me, right? Like if there's an audio, I'm all in for it. I was like, now I'm excited. Now I'm like, all right, give me some audio. I love it. Now I see that you fight out of southpaw. Like a lot of people can't swing with both hands. Like that's a super advantage for you.
Well, I'm actually Orthodox, but I can switch. So it's I can do both, but I am actually Orthodox, but I have power in both hands. So I got very lucky with that.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. Because I mean, I love your work, and I've seen you beat the hell out of people for a while. So I'm like, yo, this girl, the way her power is, like, I'm not a professional fighter. Have I been in fights? Yeah, I'm a city guy. But like a lot of people, like you could see where their hand structure is and where they're gonna lean to because they're either a left or a right, and you got power in both. So,
Yeah.
super dope. And I mean, you got some massive beatdowns.
I do.
Now
I've had a very aggressive style, especially for a female. Very aggressive, powerful, and it's a lot of people just can't handle me.
Now, I was telling people, yo, I'm gonna interview, the Black Widow, all this other good shit. One of my homegirls was like, yo, you gotta ask her what happened with that other girl at the last show. I'm like, all right, so
My next
I
opponent.
I know it was weird because when you pull up to her, it looked like you wanted all the smoke, and until somebody came next to you, she looked like she didn't want none of it. And then when there was a buffer in between, then she
Yep.
wanted to get a little lippy.
That's what it seems like. Yep. As soon as somebody came to pull me away, that's when she started saying, like, fuck you and all that. I mean, it is what it is. But the reason why I was there at that event is because she posted on Instagram. She's like, well, Black Widow Borg, see you in Philly. And I was like, you absolutely will. And I wanted to make sure she saw me.
All
So
right, if you're gonna ask, I'll be there.
So I literally I went up to her and Faria, which me and Faria, if you've watched anything on social media, her and I have gone back and forth as well. So they were sitting right next to each other. So I put my arm around both of them. I was like, I'm not surprised at all that you bitches would be sitting here together.
But I mean,
So
listen,
yeah.
if you're gonna call somebody out, don't act shook when the person's in front of you, especially like I've
Yep.
interviewed a few people in BKFC, and I keep trying to tell people BKFC is not for people who are not dogs, right? Like you see
Exactly.
these people just think because someone comes in with a name value or they fight in MMA or whatever that they can fight in BKFC. You see a
Yep.
lot of these people take shots and they quit on these fights.
Yep. There is a big difference between bare knuckle fighters and regular fighters. I mean, I'm not saying anything against, I was an MMA fighter,
Yep.
but when you find your style of your sport, which I have found with me, bare knuckle is just my style. Everyone can see it. I
Oh,
felt so at home. I didn't have to change anything about my fighting when I came into that, just because that's my style. I didn't have to, adjust really like most people do. And yeah, there's a big difference between us and the regular folk, I guess you could
yeah,
say.
for sure. I mean, you have a resume. Like you've been in Bellator, you've done PFL. The one in New England, I think it's NEF. I think it is called.
Yeah, that's where I started a lot with that side, honestly,
Yeah.
even in my amateur. So yeah, I've been all around Titan FC. Yeah. I haven't been with PFL. PFL I never went with, but
Oh,
Bellator, I was
okay.
in the top 10 in the featherweight division for Bellator. I turned down UFC for Bellator. They wanted
Wow.
me for the contender series at 125, and I'm like, I'm not 125er. And I went to Bellator at 145, and
So now,
I
is the 125 thing where you said like I got too much booty to be in 125 and go
yeah, that
down?
definitely could not. I started my career 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, trying to make 25, and I took
Yeah,
losses because of the bad weight cut, and that's just stupid to me. That's just stupid. If I'm not going to be able to fight like me in that ring or
exactly.
cage, there's no point in it. So I'm done taking losses over weight cutting. I feel the best at 145. I cut down to 145. So even at 35, when I cut down to 35, I was the 35 and the 25. I was 125 in my amateur champ for WCFL, and for Rival Fight League, I was the 135 champ. So yeah, I did a lot of that when I was younger. But everyone knows as you get older, your body changes,
Yep.
and it made it way harder. And I was like, if I can't be in the cage, people have seen me like fight, and they're like, "Man, that didn't look like you at all." And I'm like, "It wasn't." So I don't like that. That's to me, there's no point in it.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I think a lot of fans don't understand the maintaining a certain weight and that massive weight loss or weight drop,
yeah,
and it completely alters how you are. It changes stamina and everything, your power.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's insane. It literally like I went into one fight. I mean, I have fought sick, I have fought injured, I have fought through a lot. But
yeah.
the worst of it is when you are so drained that you don't
Hmm.
have any energy. You're like on autopilot. And at
Oh,
that point, like you're not being able to, show anyone, even including yourself, what you can do in there. And you know what you can do. So it's even more frustrating. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
and the way I try to explain to my guys, because we talk a lot of like football, wrestling. We got a lot of wrestling friends and all that. I love mixed martial arts, boxing. So this is why I try to make this platform for me. But like, I try to explain to them like, yo, remember when we used to play, and in that fourth quarter, some of the guys start gassing out because they didn't work on their cardio all season or whatever, and they get fatigued. Well, how do you think you're gonna feel when you drop 10, 15 pounds to try to get into a fight, right?
Yeah.
Like,
The most I ever dropped was less than 2 weeks. I had 25 pounds to drop.
whew,
And for a female, it just doesn't work the same as it does men. Men can drop that easy. Our bodies are made to hold on to it more
yeah,
than
yeah.
men. So it's a hassle. And ever since I've been a 45er, I have been able to maintain a good, healthy weight, been able to maintain my diet, my structure, like everything just feels better, and I feel the best I have. So
Is
I'm just gonna
is
stick
it
with it.
hard to like with the diet? Is it hard to maintain the 145, or you feel it's like a
No,
breeze?
not at all. This has been the easiest for me. So when I dropped a whole bunch of weight, I would end up eating a lot and gaining a whole bunch of weight and then making it harder to cut back down.
Mm.
And I went through that a lot until I actually understood my body more. I took the time and the effort and the people that I have behind me, nutritionists and stuff like that, coaching me and figuring out, what I needed, what works best for me. And I finally figured it out. So it's like breaking that is a game changer.
I gotta ask 'cause this to me would be one of the craziest things. I'm married, been my wife 25 years, love her to death.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're married, and how it's got to be incredible. I cannot see my wife get punched in the face, right? Like it's got to be one of the craziest things for hubby to sit back and be like, I gotta support, but I'm literally watching my wife in a war every time she goes into that fight.
Yeah, and I have definitely had some wars. I mean, if anyone
Oh
has,
yeah,
I mean, I've went through like 3 rounds with fractures and still fighting. So he knew me 5 years before we ever got together though. So we were best friends and coaching and like together the
oh
whole
wow.
time. So he's been pretty much since he's known me, he's seen me take punches and get in fights and stuff like that. So it's nothing new to him
It's
really.
kind of the norm.
It is a little bit, I'm sure, nerve-wracking a little bit, but he takes it very well.
You know what? Salute to hubby for being a real one. Um, Now I gotta ask because I'm big into like people's entrances or their weigh-ins where they wear stuff. My son is a big horror person, and you rock the Freddy Krueger, so I was like, I gotta ask about the Freddy Krueger look because it was fire.
You know, it honestly, I love it too. And I was just, it came to me one day. I was like, you know what? I want to do something that you haven't seen yet.
Yep.
I want to do something that matches my style. And honestly, I'm like the bad guy. Everyone has pretty much labeled me the bad guy, and that's fine with me. I play the bad guy role fine. I will take that and run with it. But it was just perfect. I was like, you know what? Nobody's done that. And one, two, like just my right hand, like that's just perfect. It fits me perfect.
Yo, it was awesome. I seen it. I'm like, man. And then when he said, "Yo, you got to ask about," it, I was like, I'll definitely ask. Like, I'm definitely gonna bring it up. You know, he's a big horror guy, so he was like, "Yo, it's the dopest look I've ever seen." I'm like, "All right, cool."
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So you've also been on. I mean, listen, you got a crazy resume. Like, I try to write down a bunch of topics. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to hit everything, but you've also been on the cover of Hot Ink magazine as well.
Yes, I have. I've done it all. I've been on TV. I've done a little of everything. It's, you know, you got to live life to the fullest, and I'm here for it all. So that's my
I
style.
mean, you also I seen you on WWE, and I think it was the COVID era where they had all the TVs and everything. And I was like,
Yeah, it was
how the
not
hell
as
did she
good.
get? I was like, yo, how the hell did she get in WWE? Now I'm like, yo, this is crazy to me. Like,
Honestly, you know, man, they pay way better than getting paid to fight. But honestly, it's just not. That's just not my style. I mean,
yeah,
maybe when I'm retired, I will think about doing it. But honestly, I love fighting. I like the challenge. I like to be in the fight. Being in the
yeah.
fight, like, I don't know, it's just I'm meant for it. So I want the real fight. I don't want to skit. I don't want any of that, you know. And would I be good at it? Yeah, but if I'm ever going to be on WWE again, I'm going to be the one throwing bitches around. I'm not going to be the one that's going to be on I can't, you know, arm candy for Bobby Lashley.
You know, and it's funny because I've been around Bobby Lashley a lot. Like when
He's
he was there,
awesome.
like, yeah, he's one of the nicest guys you could ever be around.
He is.
Absolute, like I use the word sweetheart, and people get confused. Like, yo, how can you say that? And I'm like, yo, you guys have no idea how awesome he is, how cool he is with his fans.
He
Like, he's
is.
just a really laid back guy who's just unfortunately massive and looks scary. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He is. It was great. I met a whole bunch of you know, people that work with WWE. That's awesome.
yeah.
Honestly, I liked them all. It was a great experience. And
See,
maybe when I'm retired.
but that's what I was gonna say. Like, a lot of people they might be able to do in ring, right? And I'm like, yeah, cool. But if you can't cut a promo or you're not believable, it's not gonna work. And you are like you say, you're the villain, you're the bad guy, you're the heel. I'm like, if you slap a mic on this girl, yo, people are gonna be like, oh my god.
100%.
When there's
Everyone says like you have the personality. 100% you
oh
are
god,
personality, and that helps a lot with everything, the career, everything. But it's just who I am, and I, you know,
it's what you do, you
it's
know?
what I do.
So, is there anyone that you go, all right, I want to put a bull, not obviously the chick you're gonna beat up, like we know you're gonna, we know we're gonna that you're gonna
The
mollywop
one that
her.
just
So
tagged me today actually in IG was Hannah Rankin. She's like, "Ready when you are." I was like, "What do you mean? I've been waiting for the contract. I had been sitting here patiently waiting."
so
She's like, "I'm hitting the 200-pound heavy bag." I'm like, "Am I supposed to be scared or something? Because you better be hitting that fucking thing."
and I think that's the thing too, is like I don't mind people's confidence, right?
Yeah.
But
I want
going
them to be the best version of them. The
yeah,
best version. I want her to make every adjustment she needs to. I want that fight.
but the thing is, like, I don't know if she wants that fight. Like, it's easy to say, like, if you look at your body of work, which as fans, this is what we do. We're supposed to, do our homework, look at how you do. And I mean, you've stood over people, pounding them out until literally the ref tries to like get in between. Like,
Yeah.
that's a
I have a hard
that's a
time stopping.
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a brawl that's coming, and I don't think a lot of people are prepared for that. Like,
Nobody is. I swear you are 100% correct. And everyone always underestimates me because I guess, you know, like I'm a blonde chick. I don't know. I've always been underestimated my entire career. I think she's aware of what I'm capable of. I think she's very aware. I saw it in her eyes already. But they don't know until they're in there with me. And then
yeah,
they're like, holy shit, this is a whole different ball game. I have
yeah.
yet to meet somebody as powerful and as aggressive. Even the stupid wins and stuff like that over me and MMA and stuff like that, it was never, in my opinion, I still wasn't beat. Like
Yeah.
even with even when I had fractures, I still was like, that at that time I was actually sick fighting when I got those fractures. So it's like, it doesn't, I don't feel like I've ever been beat.
See, and that this is where I keep trying to tell people about the BKFC thing. Like like I said, you seen UFC guys come in and they falter, right? Like you see guys and girls, you see them get hit and they stay down, they're not knocked out, right? Like all of a sudden their soul gets taken from like some Mortal Kombat shit or something.
It literally
right? Like,
yeah, even my last opponent, I saw her soul leave her body when I was like, "Oh, you're done." I saw them the second it happened, and yeah, you're right. Like they don't realize what it is until they get in there. And I know she's tough. I'm not saying that Hannah Rankin's not
no, for
tough.
sure.
She is tough, but there is a difference between our fighting style. And for BKFC, for bare knuckle, I'm gonna be a problem. So I hope she knows that.
Yeah, oh no, I think everybody knows. I think, but you know what I think right now that you're the one they want to fight. Like obviously you got Tay, she's doing her thing. You know, a lot of these girls they're doing their thing, but you're the person because everyone's sitting back, go, damn, she's talking shit, she's fucking people up. Like you're more of a draw because of everything that comes with you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
I
like
hope
you're
it
a
keeps me
complete
busy.
you know, I mean, yeah, for sure. But like I said, I think you're the person that everybody wants to target. Yeah, everybody goes, "Oh, I want the champ because they're the champ," right? But like outside of that, there's way more than just the champ. You got to be marketable and everything else. I don't think there's another girl that, and I'm not no hate on nobody, but I think you bring an element to BKFC that a lot of these women don't have.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot. I hope so. I hope that, I'm going to be the face of, I plan on being there for a long time. So
Yeah,
if someone's going to be taking some from me, they're going to have to bring it. That 145 title's mine.
and now I got to say this because I love Connor, I'm a big Connor guy. I think Connor has brought a lot of eyes to BKFC, right? Like
Absolutely. Ever since he got on board, I really feel like it's expanded a lot.
Max Crosby, elite defensive end for the Raiders. He signed in. He's one of the financial people for BKFC. So I'm like, Connor jumps in. All of a sudden, you got Max Crosby. There's a lot more eyes coming in now. Also, with women in general, it took forever for I think you women have the heart of in every kind of aspect in life, right? Like even through women's NBA, it takes forever for guys to sign on, even though they're some of the most talented, athletes in the world. But with women's like boxing, MMA, it feels like BKFC is at a point where a lot of people say, damn, these women, some of them are having like the match of the night over the dudes, like a lot of you women are having better fights than the guys. So is that like something that y'all hold to? Like, man, we gonna go out there to have a better fight than these fellas and let these people know what it is.
I think so. I think all women. A lot of people say women fights are boring, which I don't.
No way.
I have no idea how.
No way.
Yeah, I have no idea how anyone could think that women fights suck in general. But I have heard some people say that, and I'm like, that's just crazy. Now in BKFC, a lot of women don't have power, so you see that them go the round, but they're warriors for going 5 rounds. So yeah, it's not like the brutal knockouts that you see with guys, which I mean, besides me, there's some good knockouts, but like to have power is rare for females. But I do think that females have something to prove because we're always constantly underestimated. I feel like so we do bring it, intend to bring it all for the females.
From what I've seen from the female fights, is they're way more aggressive and they kind of go at each other. Where you see a lot of the guys, I'm not saying that they're afraid to get knocked out because that's definitely not the case. But like you'll see, they'll try to size each other up. They'll try to time it a little better. So you'll see more separation in the women. The women are like a car crash. It's like fight, bang, let's just go to war, right? Like there's no pause. So if you want to fight, I mean, the women are where it's at.
Yeah, we, you hear it all the time. Women are drama, but shit. Like, if you want to bring the drama in the cage, that's where we lash it out. So that's where we get to show it.
And like I got my BKF experience. Like me and my wife, we were just trying to find something at night one time, right? Just what are we gonna watch? So she sees on, I don't remember what the hell it was on, Prime or something. She's like, you want to watch this BKFC thing? I'm like, okay. And the
Mm,
first fight we got into was this one chick gets her head like, I mean, split wide open, and the medical guy's like, it's over, and she's like, I'm good, but she's leaking like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and
that's what sucks.
I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, I'm like, this girl is ripped open, and she's like, I'm good, and he's like, no, you're
That's what
not.
sucks is because the cuts will sometimes get the fight stopped
Yeah,
even when you're not done. You know, it's to
yeah,
you it's just a cut, but it is good for them to stop it because we wouldn't. If real fighters won't stop.
no.
So you need to save us from ourselves most of the time. So it is good that they're there.
See,
It just sucks the moment.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's been a few fights that I've watched that um the person that gets cut open is dominated, and they
Yeah.
got to take a loss, and you're like, oh man, if they didn't get
Yeah.
cut,
Oof. It sucks, but I mean it's easy with bare knuckle, you know? That's the main thing that happens is cuts. You just
yeah.
gotta
I mean,
try not to get hit.
and see, that's what thing is too. When we were just talking about like the power aspect between the male and the female, you're still punching bare hands, right? Like it's
Mhm.
straight bone to your face. I mean,
Mhm.
it's
You
still
hear the bone on
brutal.
bone. I love
You,
it. God, I love it.
you're a loud one.
I there is a crazy side in me, and I get to unleash it in that cage. And it's just becoming more controlled chaos. So it's like I've become friends with my demons, and now it's like a beast that is. I'm just excited. I'm just excited for what's to come because it's my style, you know? It's 100% like I love the brutality. I love the violence. I love everything that I get to unleash in there.
And there's you don't get that nervousness no more going towards that ring, like
I've never in my whole career, I really haven't been the nervous
wow.
type. I get excited. I get more excited. I have to calm myself down because I'm so excited. I've never been like, no one's ever intimidated me. No man or woman has ever like, oh, I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. It's more of like, I don't want to disappoint myself, but I've
Okay.
never been nervous or, my team or whatever, even though I know I'm not ever going to disappoint my team. My coaches are there for you regardless. But of course you have those things in the back of your mind, but man, nervous is not what I would call it. It was just more excited.
Because you could see there are people who come in and they're moving around a little too much, and you're like, oh, it's probably their nerves, and they're trying to like act like they're super ready for it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you're about to go into a fight. See, this is what I tell people: like in boxing, you got padded gloves, and I'm not saying getting punched in the face with gloves is any better, neither. I don't want to get hit in my face
It's a
neither. But
little
like,
bit.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather get punched in the face with a boxing glove than bare hands.
Oh, see, I guess I'm nuts. I don't know. I grew up fighting. I grew
Yeah.
up. That's how I wasn't allowed to play any sports when I was growing up.
Oh wow.
My family were Jehovah's Witnesses, and they didn't believe in that. So
Wow,
I,
wait
you
a
know, with
minute. Hold on. How do you go from Jehovah Witness to knocking people out on a regular?
that's pretty much probably why. All the trauma. So but honestly, I was raised in chaos. I was raised in violence. My dad tried to kill me multiple times. So
Damn.
I have literally taken punches from my dad was 250 pounds and 6'2", and I have taken punches and kicks from men my entire life. I knew that I could take bare knuckle without a hesitation in my mind.
Wow.
It's just I'm used to it. I'm meant for it, and I don't know. It just never fazed me.
And it's crazy because, like, not flirting, you're a beautiful woman, not, obviously you're
Thank you.
married, got all
No.
that good shit. But, like, for someone who's been through so much, you got like this. I'm not trying to sound like weird, but like a pretty girl surfer girl, kind of like, rainbows and daffodils or something. Like, it seems like there's been no kind of pain or suffering or nothing.
It took me a long time to get to this point though, and I struggle every day. It's an everyday struggle.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's made me who I am, and I am so grateful for everything I went through. Honestly, it's made me so freaking powerful, and I've turned into, seriously, within the last 5 years of being with my husband. Honestly,
Yeah.
he's the one that's able. I don't know. Everything came together. It's been the first time that I've been in a healthy relationship. And when you have that, it's a game changer. If you have that support, you've been with yours
Yeah.
for so long, and it's hard to find that these days. But he's the first stable, healthy relationship I've ever been in, and it made me where I was able to heal.
Yeah.
And after that, it's just I'm strong, I'm powerful, and I'm like, positive.
Yeah,
I am
absolutely.
positive.
And like you said, like it's in the interview about me, and I only talk real quick, but like when you have that person, obviously being my wife, um, I grew up different, right? Street kid, all that other dumb shit.
Yeah.
And when she came into my life, I'm the man I am today because of her. Like I have switched up. She's made me who I am. She's made me vulnerable. She's made me some people might say soft because I'll cry in the movie. I'll watch Descendants. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I'm a
and,
pansy when it comes to movies. I'll
you know what
cry
I'm
easy.
saying? Like, and a lot of my friends are like, bro, you got real soft. I'm like, but I'm happy, right? Like,
Exactly. Yes.
so
It comes hand in hand. It doesn't make
yeah,
it actually makes you stronger when you can do those things because you're content and with yourself. You're content
yeah,
with who you are. And that's been the biggest thing for me is I've always been kind of me, take it or leave it kind of gal. But I am more so now than ever. And I am completely content with who I am and my flaws. So,
yep,
I'm working on me daily. I know that I am. And, it's like, I have who I need in my life. I don't need anyone else really.
exactly. And if people got a problem with it, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
the name Black Widow, which I was like, man, when I say it, how do I say it without saying it? But to me, it's one of the most gangster nicknames I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, this has to be one of the craziest stories of how she got the name Black Widow.
It really isn't though. So I
Oh,
actually hate
wow.
I guess it kind of is gangster. All right, at first I had no idea why my coach named me the Black Widow.
Okay.
I actually hated it because everyone asked me if I was an Avengers fan, and I'm like,
Oh,
no,
shit.
I'm
I
not.
didn't even think of Black Widow from
That's
Avengers.
honestly that's all I got. Was like either I thought you were gonna be black, like they really thought that I was gonna be black, or I got that multiple times. I was super surprised about that. Or that I was an Avengers fan. I'm like, no, I mean, I don't have a problem with the Avengers, but no, I'm not like that much of a fan that I came up with my own nickname.
Yeah.
We weren't even allowed to come up with our own nickname. So my coach, I have a tattoo on the back of my neck of a Black Widow, and I thought that that's where I honestly assumed that for over a year. That's where I was like, all right, Jessica the Black Widow, it sounds good. He probably just got it from my tattoo. And I got that tattoo because the female Black Widow is more venomous than the male.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, I
Absolutely.
had my own little meeting to it. But so finally, after a year, I asked him, I was like, so why did you name me the Black Widow? And he's like, oh, because you're like this hot blonde chick that came in and just started throwing around the guys like rag dolls. So you started destroying the guys. I'm like, well, shit, now I like it. I like it a lot better now.
Like when I was like, yo, she's the Black Widow, she had to have like either beat the fuck out of some dude
A
or like it
lot.
had I thought it was male related because the spider is known for killing the male, right? So I'm
Hmm.
like, she had to like destroy some poor bastard that,
I did a
unfortunately,
lot, like in the gym all the time, and they're like they all constantly underestimated me. I'm this blonde chick, but I've always been super strong, super powerful, super aggressive. So those things going hand in hand with technique, it's a dangerous, chick.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I wish I would have known that right off the bat. I was like, wow, I would have liked it a lot sooner.
I liked it. I thought it was because of the tattoo, but
So then I ended up getting more tattoos of the Black Widow, of course.
no, but that's awesome. Um, so I personally, now this is what I was talking to my guys. I was like, yo, I'm telling you right now, before 2025 is over, that Jessica Borg is going to be, the women's champ of BKFC. So I'm not trying to, say you, I don't want you to say it, but I kind of want you to be like, yeah, I'm that one. Cause I'm like, I'm going to get her to say it. I'm going to let you people know she's going to be the champ. She's going to knock everyone out or beat people up for 5 rounds that they never want to fight her again.
Yeah, I am going to be the 145 champ. There's no doubt in my mind. I am going to be the 145 BKFC women's champion. That's I've
Well,
already manifested it. That if someone's gonna have to kill me. I'm
see,
just saying.
that's the thing where I love, like I said, I've done an interview with Mike Hansen. I just did one with Hasim Al Ghanim, I think his name is. I don't want to say it wrong, but he's Hungry
Yeah,
Hassan.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but like that's what they keep saying after their BKFC stuff. Like, you're gonna have to kill me or break my jaw, right? Like, there's no quit. And
And
that's
even a jaw breaking. Honestly, I fought 3 rounds with a broke jaw. So I have titanium plates in mine. So
wait, in BKFC?
no,
Oh,
not
I was
this was
like,
an
this is
MMA
now?
fight. This was an MMA fight. I had 2 fractures in my nose and a broke jaw, and I fought 3 rounds without telling my coaches.
Girl, you are bald
So
now.
the doctor even said, he's like, I've never had someone consciously tell me that their jaw was broke and where it was broke at. But I had worked in the veterinary field, and I was the main surgery tech for over 15 years. So I knew exactly the moment that it happened. And I fought through 3 rounds still. And they're like, why'd you do that? I'm like, because I wanted to fucking win.
Okay, mentally.
And this has been a long time ago now.
No, I hear you, but like, where's your head mentally where you're like, fuck, my shit is broken, right? Like, it's
that is the crazy part, though. Even though it's like your body does what it wants to protect the spot that it knows is injured,
yeah.
but your mind is like fight, but your body's like so you're more in defense mode than you are trying to do what you need to do to win. That's what pissed me off the most. I'm like, son of a bitch, your body does whatever it wants. It's like it's not listening to. I think it's more like my heart's like fight, keep going. But your mind's like, bitch, you need to stop. I'm just trying to protect you.
Yeah. See, but that's that dog shit, and it's that real. See, that's the one thing that people say, yeah, I'm a dog, I do that. But go show me a dog, and I'll tell you, oh, that's a dog in a fight.
There's a
like,
big difference between someone who says they have heart and someone who has shown that they have heart. That's a big difference. It is, because you don't know until you get in there. You don't know until you need to have heart. So, and I know I do. So I'm good.
Listen, there's no question, right? Like, and what I was getting before, what I said, I'd rather get punched with a boxing glove than not. 12 rounds in boxing to me doesn't equate to 5 rounds in BKFC.
No, it's much different. A lot of people know it's going to be 12 rounds, so it's more points. They're doing things points, not really looking for the knockout as much. I feel like, just my opinion, but I agree with that. Yeah, you got 2-minute rounds, 5 2-minute rounds. I'm there to take your head off. Like, it's just it's 2 minutes. Go.
That's the crazy part where I say it's like a car crash, because it's literally, you're in a 10-minute fight. Now, when people hear 10 minutes, they don't think it's long. For anyone that's ever been in a real fight in their lives, like 30 seconds is a long time.
If you're giving it your all, hell yeah. No matter what, you have to be in condition.
And this is where I'm like, yo, 10 minutes in a brawl is got to be the most insane thing. And that's what BKFC is. I think that's what fans enjoy so much, is that, the ring doesn't, to me, I've never been in a BKFC ring, obviously. It doesn't feel massive, where it feels like you've got nowhere to run. Exactly.
Tiny. That's it. I love it. You can't get away from me.
See, that's where I'm like, yo, like in BKFC, you cannot run. Like, there's no, even if you back up, eventually you're gonna back into that thing, and then what do?
Yeah, my last one was actually smaller than the first one, and it was even a smaller cage. I can't remember ring. I can't remember exactly how big it was, but it was the smallest one they've ever had, and it really brought people out to fight. Like, you could see the difference in the fights.
Yeah,
it was definitely more go. Like, I like it.
That's crazy. And also, I think that a lot of the girls, they look at you and they think, oh, she's just a pretty blonde girl. Like, she's not really that girl.
And because I also, post all the sexy stuff, I'm not afraid to embrace my sexuality at all. Everyone knows that. Like, that's there's nothing wrong with it. Society has made something wrong with it, but honestly, there's nothing wrong with it. And I think people they underestimate me because I'm also funny. Like, I choose to be funny, but there is like Jekyll and Hyde.
That's the thing. Like, there's an old saying back where I'm from, is I might crack a smile, but ain't a damn thing funny, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You
Don't
know,
get this
I love to
smile
laugh.
twisted.
I love to have fun, but when I turn that switch, you got to be ready for a completely different version of me because Hyde's coming out to play.
And I mean, you are sponsored. You're an OnlyFans athlete, right? So you have
Yes.
the big sponsor.
Yes. Thank goodness. They're my best paying sponsor. So,
Hey, I mean, it
yeah,
is what it is, right? Get the
they help
bag.
out a lot, man. Us fighters need some help.
Exactly. But like, if to me, you're a brand, right? Like the Black Widow thing, the Jessica Borg, you're a brand. So
Yes.
if you're gonna use your sexuality because I'm a bad bitch, then I don't give a fuck. Like, why are you? If you're that interested in me, then
Exactly.
follow suit. If not, shut the fuck up.
That's exactly like people pay way too much attention to other people instead of focusing on themselves anyway. And
Mhm.
that's the biggest problem. Why are you worried about what I'm doing? Worry about yourself. I,
Exactly. Like,
I ain't hurt nobody. So the only thing that they're just projecting their insecurities. Honestly,
yeah.
that's the biggest thing. Anyone who has a problem with you is always going to be doing less than you because
Oh,
the busy
exactly.
people are worried about themselves.
See, and that's the thing. Like when in my era, no one liked the hater. Like the word hater wasn't a thing, but like no trolls, no haters. But I tell people, you really don't like somebody. The best way to not fucking get them open is don't engage. Don't hit a like. Don't put a comment because then the
Yep.
algorithm's not going.
Yep.
If you want to be a hater and you want to keep helping the person you don't like, do what you do, right? Like,
100%.
but to sit there and be like, oh, I don't like it because she does this.
Hmm.
What? How does that affect your life? What she does?
To define a person over what they do in their spare time is just mind blowing to me. I can't like wrap my like head around the people that do that. Like you can't define a person because of what they do for fun. Like that does not define them as a mother. It doesn't define them as what they do for their career.
Nope.
It doesn't any of that. And like society, like I said, society has made it that way, and it shouldn't be that way.
No, and it sucks because people think, oh, she does this, so she can't be a good person, or he can't be a good dude.
Or a good fighter or a good mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, yo, come on, like you don't know these people outside of what they do, so you're following them, and you see something and you want to judge, but you don't even know what it is, right? Like whatever this person does on their free time is what they feel like doing. If you want to go garden, right? Like who cares? I mean,
Yeah, if it's not against the law, it's not hurting anyone. Shut up. Shut the
yeah,
fuck
for real.
up.
So listen, I got to pick your brain for a few minutes. I appreciate everything. I don't want to keep you super long. I want you to give all your plugs so everyone can know, support this, like this. This is how it is.
It's pretty easy if they go on my Facebook or Instagram, Black Widow Borga or Jessica Borga, Borga. You can find all my links to all my social media on there. So there's a link that you can click on and it'll show you everything. So
There you
it's easy
go.
to find me.
Listen, enough said. The beautiful Jessica Borg, thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
everything. And future champ in less than a year, we're
145.
calling it.
Hopefully
So
soon will be news too, by the way.
listen, I can't wait because I'm gonna talk so much shit. Like I'm letting you know. As soon as you win that vote, I'm talking crazy. I'm gonna jump on. I might even make a TikTok just to talk shit. Right? So listen,
I
for
appreciate you.
myself, nah, it's all love. Listen, it's Black Widow Borgo. We out of here. Deuces.